What's up, ladies and gents? Social Nurse here. Reverend Al Sharpton is a celebrity advocate reverend, and he does social justice work. Many of you know this man. I think early in his career, he probably started out genuine, right? But Reverend Al Sharpton has been around a long time, and he continues to be an ear and an advocate for the Democratic Party. He has his National Action Network. We're in April of 2026. Today happens to be April 14th, 2026. And a lot is still going on globally concerning our country, the United States of America, in reference to several countries around this globe, especially Middle Eastern countries, right? There's going to be a new president, more than likely, and it's Reverend Al Sharpton's job to persuade Black America which way he believes Black America, ethnic Black America. Let me be clear, because there's other racially Black people that have immigrated to the United States, right? A young man stood up and challenged Democratic Party ideology, for lack of better words. And he pretty much let it be known that nothing will dictate Black America's vote, right? Ethnic Black America does not have to stay dedicated to the Democratic Party, because basically, like a lot of us, we believe that the Democratic Party has taken Black America's vote for granted. There's things that different Democrats have said that indicate, if you don't vote for us, you're not Black. I mean, just very, very belittling words and rhetoric offering symbolism. So I don't know the young man's words verbatim. I did watch the clip, but he's pretty much like, no check, no vote. And that check he's talking about is a form of reparations, which I am somebody that believes those reparations should have been given a long time ago. They're well overdue. I don't know if it'll ever happen, right? But there are people who thought that the 1964 Civil Rights Act would not become a thing, law, and it happened. So I'm not being negative about it. But what I do know is, or what I believe is, that the Democrats don't want to pay reparations either. They don't. We know that there have been many Republicans that have expressed, or people attached to the Republican Party that have expressed they are not interested in providing reparations. There's even been, people with immigrant backgrounds, will speak on ethnic Black America and reparations, right? So I will say this. Historically, my research tells me that the Democratic Party is not really interested in providing any form of policy just for ethnic Black Americans. Just like Kamala Harris said, right, when she was running, she's not going to do anything just for Black people, right? Now, she spoke a little bit differently, stating that transactional votes are valid pretty much, and that give people permission to vote in a way that they expect something for their vote. And I think that's really sad that, she has to come out and say that out of her mouth, because when voting, right, in general, you're expecting something favorable from the party you vote for. And with so many people immigrating into the United States, each group expects something, right? People that are unauthorized in the country expect something. People that are visitors. The fact of the matter is, reparations should have been given to our group a long time ago, right? It's actually, something that should have occurred. But I just want to remind everybody that Al Sharpton is like stuck in a time zone, because he said this in response to that young man that stood up and pretty much said what he had to say. Al Sharpton said, if you want reparations, you have to vote people in that will provide the reparations. That's not necessarily true. Black people vote Democrats in all the time, and they not provided reparations. And I want to talk about two specific trifecta presidents. What I mean by trifecta, we're talking about where the president was a Democrat and they held the majority in the Senate and the House. Trifecta. The president is a Democrat. The majority of the House was Democratic representatives, and the majority of senators were Democrats. That would be President Clinton, and President Obama, they held a trifecta type of office. In 1989, now he's deceased, but Congressman John Conyers out of Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, was one of the first persons to put forward a type of policy, possibly, that would move towards reparations. This was way back in 1989. I believe it's HR 40. I can't really speak in depth on it because I'm not someone that, really understands how reparations would be applied broadly to ethnic Black Americans. I think there's been all kinds of people that have infiltrated Black America, ethnic Black America. But 1989, look how long that has been. And I mentioned the two trifecta presidential offices, right? And that policy put forth by John Conyers in 1989 didn't move through Clinton or Obama. And it's certainly not going to move through a Republican Party. I don't think. I could be wrong. Anything's possible. People said that the 1964 Civil Rights Act would not occur. But I'm just pointing out that Reverend Al Sharpton, his words that voting the people in to provide reparations, however he stated it, doesn't necessarily reflect in history when we talk about Obama and Clinton, who again, their party, the Democratic Party, held power during their administration. So there's no interest from the Democrats, really. They, in my opinion, like to use Black America to advance other agendas so that they can stay in power by lumping everybody into a disparity box. Do I think Black America needs to move a different way, even just to shake things up, right? It is what it is. You can't keep doing the same thing. People often say they are weighing the difference between two evils. It's really a dire strait situation concerning the next president, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to suggest that you keep in your network, and if you don't have certain people in your network, start developing a network of certain people. And hopefully they're trustworthy, but we're talking about an attorney, a lawyer, a doctor, right? Should be in your network, right? Someone that you know, right? We're talking about an accountant, should be in your network. Someone who is an information technology specialist, as well as adequate in AI, should be in your network, right? A nurse should be in your network. Did I say an accountant, financial advisor, should be in your network, right? You should have, because there's accountants and there's financial advisors, both should be in your network. Someone who is a mechanic that can actually fix cars and trucks should be in your network. Someone who is a jack of all trades when it comes to home improvement, building, should be in your network. Why? Because they can do work themselves and they often know other people in their network that are specialists in things like electricity, plumbing, you name it, right? So start building a network of people. If you don't have these type of people in your network where you can co-op together, right? It is what it is. Just my thoughts, social nurse.